let alone actually did some type of training of self-defense. A few, couple brothers, couple sisters, some people, you may live in a rough neighborhood, or you come from a rough country, or tribes and clans are fighting, you have that mentality. But most of us live so comfortably, so peacefully, we have the food that we need all the time, more food than what we need. We eat until our bellies are full and we burp and we get digestive problems because we eat so much, we drink so much. The car is warm, heated seats, leather seats, you sit back, everything's comfortable and laid out. It's so nice, so comfortable that it makes you complacent and you forget the fact that everyone is not peaceful and peace-loving and respectful, and that there are people that want to do physical harm to you for whatever reason. I don't like you because of the way you look. I don't like you because of the language you speak. Or you have a material possession that I want, and I don't have the. Preparing yourself against someone who wishes to do harm to you. The bitter reality is, brothers and sisters, and hopefully you can agree with this, most people are going to become victimized. When the murderer or the robber or the burglar or the rapist comes, most people are going to fall victim. Most. A few will have the ability to see it, to recognize it, to get out of the way, to diffuse the situation. There are levels of self-defense. But a big or major bitter reality is that there are going to be victims. And the victims, in my humble opinion, and therefore they're going to fall victim. So just think about this now with shaitan, his tricks, his games, his plots, his schemes. Just think about the reality is that there is a perpetual state of war that exists between these two beings, the human and shaitan himself. And this war isn't a war that just started or in the 40s, World War II, or the Korean War, or the Vietnam War, or World War I, or the Revolutionary War, etc. This war has been since humans existed. And that was our forefather, our ancestor, Adam alayhi salatu wasalam. He was up front. And Iblis, he kept his promise. He made a law promise, and he kept that promise. And from then until now, he has kept his promise. And he will keep his promise. And it will continually be warfare. So if you realize that, if you know that more than theory, it's practice. You have to physically be at war as well. But just to realize it's warfare. Like going outside. I'm going to the car to grab something. I left my baby's pacifier. Or the car seat, we're switching cars. Or I left my phone in the car. Or whatever else. To realize it's no guarantee that I'll make it back to my house. There could be someone waiting, as I said. It's a different story of paranoia, being over anxious, but just being mindful, And many people who are victims of crime and violent crime, it's because they were heedless. Just like the lions, the predators, the tigers, the lions, the jaguars, the pumas, etc. They go after the heedless on the grass, eating, drinking water, and there isn't an animal out there that has over 200 pounds, 250 pounds, 300 pounds of raw muscle, sharp fangs and claws. We're just out here eating and grazing. That's how people think. And they don't realize that there are predators that are lurking and waiting for you to be of someone who's an attacker. I want to get the one that left the phone in the car. I want to get the one who doesn't lock the door at night. Everyone understand this? So you have to be in a mindset, in a mind state, is that shaitan is real. And the war between him and our father was real. And the war between him and his offspring is real. It has been, it is, and it will be. So that's the fishes and roses and mashallah, alhamdulillah, and that's it. No. There's someone out there who wants to destroy you, ruin you. And if I can't ruin you with this, then I'll try to ruin you with that. If I can't get you here, I can get you there. And the list goes on. So that's the first step. Now, when we talk about tricks and plots and schemes, we know that tricks, plots of warfare. Warfare. As the hadith says, al-harbu khid'ah. Al-harbu khid'ah. And we all know the book that people study, read, and memorize, and idolize, and they talk about the work of Sun Tzu. And Sun Tzu, in that book, The Art of War, he makes his iconic statement. And he says, all warfare is based off deception. Not some of it, this type of war, conventional war, guerrilla warfare, larger force, smaller force. He said all warfare is based off of deception. When we are near, we must make the enemy think that we are far. When we are far, we must make the enemy think that we are near. And the list goes on. It's a game, it's a mind game that you play with your enemy, and that gives you the advantage. The Prophet ﷺ, the hadith says, Al-Harbu khid'a. And a trick and a game and a scheme and a plot is not going to be a direct frontal assault, but it's going to be a flank. It's going to be reversed. It's going to be a feint retreat, an ambush. So you have to be in the proper mindset that shaitan is reality. His games are a reality. His tricks are reality. And don't necessarily underestimate them. Don't think that everything is so simple and plain and mundane and easy. La. There are going to be complexities. He's going to attack you from ways that you don't think about. He's going to get you at your weak point, at a weak time. And he's going to exploit those mistakes. So therefore, it isn't an issue of I'm uncertain, I'm doubtful, it's a little ambiguous, I'm not sure, maybe 24/7. You have to be in a state of spiritual warfare. Shaitan can come to me in my sleep, when I wake up, when I drink, when I eat, my money, my children, my wife, my husband, my muscles, my good looks, my beauty, my tribe, my lineage, my ancestry. You don't think Shaitan is going to attack you because of your ancestry? You don't think Shaitan is going to use this against the Muslims? You think he's just going to let them be, leave them be? You think that everything is justified? Your identity and who you associate yourself with. I'm from this race. I'm from this tribe. I'm from this clan. I'm from this family. I'm from this household. You don't think Shaitan is going to exploit that? To get you to kill, to murder, to get you to be arrogant and conceited and look down upon people, discriminate, be prejudiced, and the list goes on. So that's the first step of this topic, is to realize is that it's not a joke and it's not a game. And the moment you lay down your arms, the moment you take a day off, the moment you say, I want to relax, the moment you say, oh, I don't feel like fighting today, that's when the tiger pounces upon the gazelle. When he says, oh, I'm safe now. Let me drink some water. I'm safe now. Let me, graze. That's when the leopard comes out. Of course, we cannot neglect and ignore its weight around the world with regards to business, politics. There are NFL coaches who use that book before they use the actual playbook. And we can mention examples of this, in which this call was totally unorthodox and against all football doctrine, but the coach called it and it worked. And that's because all warfare is based off of deception, tricking the other side and getting them to think a way which isn't actually what we're going to do. So what did he say in the beginning of the book? He said the art of war is of vital importance to the state, i.e. he wrote this book for the emperor. Just like many ulama, they wrote books for the sultan. They wrote books for the khalifa. The khalifa asked them, what do I do with this? What's the ruling on this? Please tell me about this. Things they were fond of. And they wrote books because of someone's request. So he said to the emperor, he says that the art of war is of vital importance, not importance. A little important, he said what? Vital importance, crucial to the state, to its security, to its well-being. All of the people within these city walls, the nobles, the aristocrats, the peasants, the concubines, the servants, the warriors, the priests, the monks, everyone is going to either benefit and profit or suffer and be miserable from us neglecting the art of war. So he told the emperor, he brought him to consciousness. It is of vital importance to the state. It is a matter of either life or death, a road to either safety or ruin. He says, therefore, it is a matter or subject of inquiry that there are enemies that want to kill you, take your life, take your property, do harmful things to you. Vital importance to the state, not just the emperor, the king, everyone. It is a road to one or two things. There's no third option. You live or you die. You reach salvation or you reach suffering and miserableness. Therefore, it can never, ever be what? Neglected. Translate that into Islam. Translate that into the Quran, into the Hadiths. The reality of shaitan, the reality of Adam, the the reality of shaitan, the reality of the son of Adam is a small issue, a trivial issue, is of vital importance. And it's either Iman and Kufr, Tawheed, Shirk, Jannah or Jahannam. Your life, your salvation as a Muslim is based off of the realization is that there's war. And you can never ever neglect it. I don't have to study today. I don't have to read the Quran today. Or I'm in a different country. No one knows me, so let me take off my Muslim clothes. Or it's a day off. We don't have to go to the masjid today. Or we just made Hajj, we just made Umrah, we just came from Ramadan. Taking a day off, relaxing. That's when the shaitan creeps up upon you. Or I realize that I have to be in this mindset, but the shaitan is not going to bother me when it comes to my children. I love my children. They're beautiful. They're my children. I have no worry about them. Shaitan is going to use your children against you. If Allah has blessed you with beauty, you're a beautiful woman, the shaitan is going to use your beauty against you. If Allah has made you a handsome man, don't think that I only have to worry about age. The Quran you've memorized, mashallah. Sahih Bukhari you've memorized, mashallah. Ilm al-Rijal. The shaitan is going to use that what? Against you as well. And that's why many scholars, they wrote about this. From them was Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, in his book, Talbisu Iblis. Talbisu Iblis. The devil's deception. That is Ibn al-Jawzi's art of war. And in that book, he didn't just talk about sinners and innovators, drunkards, womanizers. He didn't talk about prostitutes. In that book, he doesn't talk about people who gamble. In that book, he doesn't talk about the devil's deception of these pagans and these idol worshippers. La. Rather, from those chapters, he mentions Talbis or Iblis al-Qurra, the devil's deception upon Quran reciters. Allahu Akbar. What's to worry about? I memorized the Quran. I learned the different qira'at. Warsh, Hafs, Qalun, Fulan. What's the mushkila? I'm imam of a masjid. I don't have to be aware of shaitan. There are no games, there's no tricks, there's no battle. I'm in the masjid all day. He mentioned the devil's deception upon the Quran reciters. I.e., is that the devil realizes he's not going to get them to go in the street and make zina. He's not going to get them to go to a club or a casino. But he can trick them. He can throw schemes and plots towards them with regards to their relationship with the Quran. Showing off the money, the status, the fame, the pomp, the glory that comes with it, etc. Tayyib. Then Ibn al-Jawzi, rahimahullah, he also mentioned Talbisu Iblis upon, he says, al-Mutasawwifa, or Sufiya, the batin. Not Shafi'i, Hanafi, Ahmed, Malik, Akhbarana, Haddathana, the Muhaddithin, la, the inner soul, what you eat, what you wear, how you sleep, the dhikr of Allah, divorcing the hayatul dunya. What could be more beautiful than that? What could be more beautiful than that in theory? Minimize what you eat. Minimize how much you drink. Don't have too many possessions from the worldly life. If I went in your house right now, what does it look like? If I went into your home, how much furniture do you have? How many flat screen TVs do you have? How many clothes on your closet? Let me see your debit account or your savings account. OSAP. Right? Let me see the interest that you've amassed over 30, 40 years. Let me see how many thousands and thousands and thousands, maybe millions, some Muslims, of money that you have saved up for your children from haram. Or even if it's not from haram, all of that money being saved up for what? $2 million for an emergency? $5 million just for an emergency? What emergency could cost that much? Stacking up money, saving all that money. How many possessions? How many shoes do you have, sister, in your closet? High heel shoes. How many sandals do you have? How many dresses do you have? How much makeup do you have? How much of the dunya have you divorced, quote unquote? That's totally an Islamic principle from Kitab and Sunnah. There's no question about that. So the concept of the Mutasawwifa, Ibn al-Jawzi mentioned how Iblis does what? Plays with them as well. Tricks them as well. There's warfare between the Sufis and Shaitan what? As well. It's not just the Zanis. It's not just people who drink. No. Those who profess piety. Is war as well. And Ibn al-Jawzi rahimahullah, he also mentioned Talbisu Iblis ala Ahl al-Hadith. The devil's deception upon the Hadith scholars. And how he will attack them And the wise scholars outside of Islam, all of them knew unanimously is that life is based off of struggle. And it's always war. Physical, mental, spiritual, etc. You get the point that I'm trying to make. I'm not talking about making acts of violence towards people. That's not what we're talking about. Everyone knows this, but FYI, for those listening and watching. It's the reality of life. And if you think about the struggle within, لَقَدْ خَلَقَنَا الْإِنسَانَ فِي كَبَدٍ. Allah says we created man fi kabadin, and struggle and strife. Listen carefully. Allah doesn't tell us وَلَنَبْلُوَنَّكُمْ in this verse وَبَلَوْنَاهُمْ بِالْحَسَنَاتِ وَالسَّيِّئَاتِ وَنَبْلُوكُمْ لَا لِيَبْلُوَكُمْ. All of those Quranic ayat. La. In this ayah, Allah says, لَقَدْ خَلَقَنَا. We made man in struggle. The asl of man's creation is what? Struggle. Everything about it is struggle. And we explained, Qurtubi rahimahullah and others have mentioned, that from a time a child is a baby until you become an old decrepit man or old woman with white hair and no teeth, it's a struggle. You have money? Struggle. No money? Struggle. By yourself, single? Struggle. Married? Struggle. Children? Struggle. And the list goes on. But after I did that struggle within the world tour twice, I came to another realization. One of my disciples, close disciple, said to me, rather, there's struggle even before you're born and made. And that is the conception of the human being. If you study the anatomy, and that's what they call the miracle of life and the miracle of birth, so on and so forth. If you're old enough, you're in puberty, even before puberty, you know how babies come into the world. There is no stork carrying a baby in a napkin. That doesn't exist. Babies are made tangibly. And there's a part of the man that's needed, and it's a part of the woman that's needed. And if you think, subhanAllah, the basic conception of a small, tiny percentage, if it makes it, then she'll become pregnant. She will conceive. And the fluid itself, under the microscope, what does it do? It's what? Struggling. It's a race. Which one is moving faster? Which one is going to get there? Which one is going to make it? Stop and think about that now. Everything in life is based off of what? Struggle. It's a war. It's a race. They're trying to compete. And the list goes on. So the fact of the matter is, brothers and sisters, is that this is the most important aspect for us to realize of this topic, is to come to the realization and the reality check. And if we know this already, alhamdulillah, to be reminded, because you can't forget. And your heart and your ears and your eyes can become dusty and rusty. So you have to be reminded is that life isn't what? Sweet. It's not sweet. As a Muslim, it's not sweet. And if Adam laid those plots, those tricks, those games for our forefather, then of course the same is going to happen to his progeny and his offspring. قال العلامة ابن القيم رحمه الله تعالى في كتابه الماتع الباب الثالث عشر في مكايد الشيطان التي يكيد بها ابن آدم. قال تعالى إخبارا عن عدوه إبليس لما سألوا عن امتناعه عن السجود لآدم واحتجاجه بأنه خير منه وإخراجه من الجنة، أنه سأله أن ينظره فأنظره، ثم قال عدو الله فبما أغويتني لأقعدن لهم صراطك المستقيم ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم ولا تجد أكثرهم شاكرين. قال جمهور المفسرين والنحاة حذف على فانتصف الفعل وتقديره لا أقعدن، فكأنه قال لألزمنه ولأرصدنه ولأحوجنه ونحو ذلك. قال ابن عباس دينك الواضح، وقال ابن مسعود هو كتاب الله، وقال جابر هو الإسلام، وقال مجاهد هو الحق، والجميع عبارات عن معنى واحد وهو الطريق الموصل إلى الله. وقد تقدم حديث سبرة بن أبي الفاكهة إن الشيطان قعد لابن آدم بأطرقه كلها الحديث. فما من طريق أو طريق خير إلا والشيطان قاعد عليه يقطعه على السالك. وقوله ثم لآتينهم من بين أيديهم، قال ابن عباس في رواية عطية عنه من قبل الدنيا، وفي رواية علي عنه أشككهم في آخرتهم. وكذلك قال الحسن من قبل الآخرة تكذيبا بالبعث والجنة والنار. وقال مجاهد من بين أيديهم من حيث لا يبصرون ومن خلفهم. قال ابن عباس أرغبهم في دنياهم. وقال الحسن من قبل دنياهم أزينها لهم وأشهيها إليهم. وعن ابن عباس رواية أخرى من قبل الآخرة. وقال أبو صالح أشككهم في الآخرة وأباعدها عليهم. وقال مجاهد أيضا من حيث لا يبصرون. قال وعن أيمانهم قال ابن عباس أشبه عليهم أمر دينهم. وقال أبو صالح الحق أشككهم فيه. وعن ابن عباس أيضا من قبل حسناتهم. وقال الحسن من قبل الحسنات أثبتهم عنها. وقال أبو صالح أيضا من بين أيديهم ومن خلفهم وعن أيمانهم وعن شمائلهم الباطل أنفقه عليهم وأرغبهم فيه. وقال الحسن وعن شمائلهم السيئات يأمرهم بها ويحثهم عليها ويزينها في أعينهم. وصح عن ابن عباس أنه قال ولم يقل من فوقهم لأنه علم أن الله من فوقهم. وقال الشعبي الله عز وجل أنزل الرحمة عليهم من فوقهم. وقال قتادة أتاك الشيطان يا ابن آدم من كل وجه غير أنه لم يأتك من فوقك لم يستطيع أن يحول بينك وبين رحمة الله. قال الواحدي وقول من قال الأيمان كناية عن الحسنات والشمائل كناية عن السيئات حسن، لأن العرب تقول اجعلني في يمينك ولا تجعلني في شمالك، تريد اجعلني من المقدمين عندك ولا تجعلني من المؤخرين، إلى أن قال. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he has a book that he wrote just on this topic, Ighathatul Lahfan. He wrote a book just on the plots, the tricks, and the games of shaitan. In this book, in chapter number 13, he talks about, before this he talks about the hearts, the types of hearts, the levels of hearts, sickness of the heart, disease of the heart, strength of the heart, courage of the heart, purity of the heart, defilement of the heart, etc. And in chapter number 13, he gets into what we call the nitty-gritty, the gristles, the schemes, the warfare that he wages against the son of Adam, the tricks that he uses to attack the son of Adam, for kufr, for shirk, for bid'ah, for sin, for heedlessness, for greed of the dunya, for. So Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah ta'ala, he says, and he starts off by mentioning a Quranic story. And that's one of the earliest, if not the earliest Quranic story that we have in the Mus'haf. And that is the story of Shaitan, Adam, and Hawa, in Surah Al-Baqarah. But in Surah 7, Al-A'raf, we have other details of how Adam alayhi salatu wasalam and his wife, our mother, alayhi salam, were driven from paradise. And he talks about Iblis when he refused to make sujood. Refused. And Iblis, subhanAllah, you look at this creature, it's not like a creature that just totally lacks intelligence, dumb and stupid, thick-minded, thick-headed. Iblis used a dalil. He used a proof and an evidence. He justified why he disobeyed Allah. Allahu Akbar. And look at the stupidity in that. But he did it. Ihtijaji, he mentions. He used the hujjah. And he says, I will not listen to you. I will not obey you. I will not follow your commandments. Why? لِأَنِّي خَيْرٌ مِنْهُ. I'm better than him. خَلَقْتَنِي مِنْ نَارٍ وَخَلَقْتَ هَذَا الْمَخْلُوقِ الدَّنِي من طين. طين لازم. إيش الطين؟ الطين في النار؟ طبعا النار أحسن وأقوى وأنفع. He made me from fire, superior element, to clay. What can clay do? What can you build with clay? How did the human race and civilizations grow larger, stronger, travel, became more aggressive, killed each other more through what? Fire. And that's because stone, glass is not like steel. Guns, germs, and steel. And steel was only made from fire. Copper, through fire, the plow. You know how much the society changed when they made the plow? Plow changed how humans lived. When they could make a piece of farming equipment out of steel. And you can only make steel through what? to fire. So Iblis, he said, I'm better than him. Clay is totally inferior to fire. And that's why I refuse to make sujood to him. Just think about how profound that is. And his arrogance, and his jealousy, and his mutiny against Allah Azza wa Jal. Yet and still he said it. And then when Allah Azza wa Jal, he told Iblis, فَاخْبِطْ مِنْهَا. He said, get out. You can't stay here. You can't live here. فَمَا يَكُونُ لَكَ أَن تَتَكَبَّرَ فِيهَا. There's no place for pride and conceit and arrogance in this abode, in Jannah. And he told him to leave. مَذْءُومًا, he said, get out. And then Iblis, that's when he made his statement, and that's when he made his promise. He said, because you have sent me astray, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي, because you have cursed me, you've cast me out. فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. As Allah says in another ayah, Surah Al-Hijr, Naam. He says, get out. فَإِنَّكَ رَجِيمٌ. وَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ لَعْنَتِي. He says, and upon you will be what? In many ayat, Surah Sajda, Surah Al-Hijr, Allah, He talks about the story of Iblis, Adam, Hawa, in different ayat. فَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ اللَّعْنَةِ فَإِنَّ عَلَيْكَ لَعْنَتِي. Get out, you're cursed. And in Surah 7, Shaitan, he said, فَبِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. Because you have cursed me. And I will take my revenge against the sons of Adam. Look at the evil of that creature. You made him better than me. You gave him virtue over me. He's inferior to me. I'm from fire, he's from clay. And you tell me to make sujood to him? So therefore, I will take my revenge on his children. And what did Iblis say? That's what Ibn al-Qayyim talks about in chapter number 13. So he mentions here that Iblis, may Allah curse him, he says, because you have misled me, because you have cursed me, misled, Allah guides, you have sent me astray, بِمَا أَغْوَيْتَنِي. Because you've done these things, he says, لَأَقْعُدَنَّ. I will sit, I will wait, and I will lay in ambush. Just like a what? A war, a battle, deception. You think that everything's peaceful. You think that you're walking down the street. You think you're just traveling through the forest. You think you're just traveling through the bush. You think you're just traveling through trees. And little do you know, there is an ambush that wipes out your whole entire platoon. And the moment you realize what has happened, who's wounded, who's injured, what body parts are missing, the enemy has magically vanished back into the trees and underground tunnels. We're talking about real life wars now, real life stuff. The moment that they even realize they were under attack, the enemy is gone. There's no counter. And that's because those soldiers in that country are walking, talking about their girlfriends back home, smoking cigarettes, talking about this fighter, the World Series, this sport. I want to get out of this cursed place. And next thing you know, boom, explosions go off because they weren't in the what? The proper mindset. That we're in war, we're soldiers, we're in an army, we have invaded someone's country. Those people don't like us, they're not welcoming us. And those who are aware, they can still become injured, they could be wounded, they could be killed. But it's not like those who are just laughing and joking and think that they're. He's looking at the signs to show that there's an enemy lying in what? Ambush. So that's what Iblis said. He says that I will wait for them and I will do something with them with regards to Siratak al-Mustaqim, your straight path. Ibn al-Qayyim, he quotes the ayah that Iblis says, ثُمَّ لَأَتِيَنَّهُمْ, and then I will approach them. I will attack them. I will come towards them from the following directions. Number one, مِن بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ, from in front. Number two, وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, from behind. Number three, وَعَنْ أَيْمَانِهِمْ, on their right, the right side, the right flank. Last but not least, وَعَنْ شَمَائِلِهِمْ, and from the left side. What's the result? What is the result? Look what Iblis said to Allah. He said, وَلَا تَجِدُوا أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. He says, and oh Allah, I swear to you and I promise to you, most of your servants will be ingrates. Most of them won't thank you, won't worship you, won't remember you, won't mention you, won't serve you, won't obey you, won't love you. وَلَا تَجِدُوا أَكْثَرَهُمْ شَاكِرِينَ. Most of them will be kafirin, ungrateful people. Listen to this conversation. Could you imagine this now? The audacity and the gall. He's saying this to his what? His Lord, that he accepts and acknowledges. فَبِعِزَّتِكَ. He swore by Allah's attribute. He knows that Allah is his creator. And he made that solemn swearing. So just put yourself now in the shoes of an enemy that hates you with the utmost intensity. My dream, my wish, my ambition, my purpose in life is to get you to stop breathing. I hate everything about you. And no matter what I have to do to cause physical harm to you, that's my mission as a soldier. Would you lay down your gun? Would you lay down your spear or your axe or your club, whatever type of warfare? Would you? Maybe we can reconcile. Maybe we can come to a peace agreement. Maybe it's not that bad. No. This is an enemy that said this to Allah. He promised Allah. He swore by Allah. So this brings up the consciousness, is that sins, shirk, kufr, innovations, heedlessness, these things are reality. And if you're not in the proper mental mindset, in most cases you'll fall prey to shaitan. Are we to understand the point? Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah, he then says, what some of the Salaf al-Salih said pertaining to this ayah. Abdullah ibn Abbas said, Siratak al-Mustaqim, your straight path, Deenuk al-Wadih, your clear religion. Allahu Akbar. Islam is not fuzzy. It's not gray. It's not staticky. There is no pixelation in Islam, right? The modern age. You look at a video from the 90s or the 80s or the 70s. The young kids say, what the heck is this? This what your movies used to look like? Where's the HD? Where's the 4K? Where's the 1080? Where's, right? You see your little son, your little brother, your little cousin. He can't watch the cartoons that you used to watch. Where's the CGI? It's pixelated, right? And you say, that's my favorite movie. What are you talking about? It's my favorite show growing up from the 70s or the 80s. And the little boy now can't stand to watch it because it's what? It's blurry. Islam, there's no blurriness. There's no fuzz. There's no pixelation. Ibn Abbas, he says, Deenuk al-Wadih. There's the religion, which is what? Clear as day. There's no shade in our Islam. Others, they interpret the verse to mean, such as Abdullah ibn Mas'ud, he says, Huwa kitabullah, it's the book of Allah. So stop and think about shaitan, you, and the Quran. I'll read it tomorrow. I read it when I get off work. I'm tired. Or my Arabic isn't that good. Right? I'll read the translation. Or let me read this book of this scholar instead of reading the Quran. Because I have to have the interpretation of the Quran. He says that I will divert them from your straight path. Ibn Mas'ud said your straight path means what? Kitabullah. Stop and think about your relationship with the Quran. Mujahid ibn Jabr, he says, Huwa al-haq, the truth. Ibn Qayyim, he says, and all of these statements are true. All of them are correct. They're all valid interpretations and there's no contradiction between them. Then he says, I will come from in front of them. Some, such as Abdullah ibn Abbas says, min qibl ad-dunya. ثُمَّ لَآتِيَنَّهُمْ مِنْ بَيْنِ أَيْدِيهِمْ. He says from in front, it means the worldly life. In other words, shaitan is not going to talk to you about Islam being false. He's not going to talk to you about the Quran being false. He's not going to talk to you about Aqidah. He's going to talk to you about making money. You got to make money. You got to save money. You have to be financially stable. You can't get married yet. You have to finish another degree. You have a bachelor's, you need a master's. You need a doctor's. What good is a bachelor's degree now? That's nothing. A bachelor's degree nowadays is an associate. You have to get a master's. Now you need a doctor's degree. Now you need more experience. Make Hajj next year. Make Hajj this. Wear your hijab when you get older. Min qibl ad-dunya. And if he doesn't kill you and hurt you and harm you from in front of you, the worldly life, Ibn Abbas, he said that. And another ayah says, Ushakkikuhum fi akhiratihim. He says, I will get them to have doubt about the hereafter. وَمَا أَظُنُّ السَّاعَةَ قَائِمَةً. Maybe, Islam is the truth, but what if it's not? Or what if all of that stuff that we read in Bukhari isn't true? This person's going to be here. This one is going to have sandals of fire to make his brains boil. How his brains going to boil without the rest of his body boiling? Ushakkikuhum. I get them to have doubt. Are all non-Muslims going to hell? All of them? Has Islam spread to everybody? We're living in a place and a time in which 95%, 99% non-Muslim. And all of them are going to hell? Can we say that Islam reached them? Doubt, 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 doubt. Ushakkikuhum. I'll cause them to have doubts. And don't think that the doubts have to just come all at once. There could be subtle doubts. He said, this pertains to the hereafter. Heaven and hell, like we just mentioned. وقال مجاهد, Mujahid, he said, من بين أيديهم من حيث لا يبصرون. What's meant by from in front of them? From directions which they can't what? See. In other words, they attack you from ambush. You can't see. It's not a conventional warfare anymore. The people don't march in rows and shoot each other down with muskets. That's not how that war was fought and won. Or that's not how that war was fought and the people from Canada, from the United States were defeated and humiliated and shamed. It doesn't work like that. The enemy doesn't always attack you what from? From the front, because all warfare is based off of what? Deception, trickery. Ibn Qayyim rahimahullah says, وَمِنْ خَلْفِهِمْ, and from behind them, قال Ibn Abbas, أُرَغِّبُهُمْ فِي دُنْيَاهُمْ, I will get them to be greedy, to be thirsty, to be hungry for the world. Not to do the haram stuff, listen carefully. Not to deny the hereafter, not to reject their faith, but like I said, let's save more money. Let's have more name brand. Let's do this, let's get more, let's expand more, let's. أُرَغِّبُهُمْ, I get them to have raghbah of this life instead of more raghbah what? For the afterlife. For the afterlife. Moving forward. وقال الحسن من قبل دنياهم أزينها لهم وأشهيها إليهم. Think about the word shahi. It's appetizing, right? The food, when you go into a restaurant, before you even smell the food, you look at the menu. Do they use basic words? I'll take the Mediterranean sea bass. Is that what it says? A piece of fish grilled? No. Mediterranean sea bass with this type of crust on a bed of saffron rice with the finest selected spices and a slice of lime presented to you with fresh garden vegetables. They use different words to get your what? Your belly growling. And your tongue, your mouth starts watering and say, oh man, that sounds good. And you don't even eat fish. What the heck is a Mediterranean sea bass? Everyone understand this, Brunzine? Is this not the case? They use selected words to make it sound shahi. And then before it comes to you, you smell it. And the presentation, let alone when you actually take the soft, tender flesh. It makes you have an appetite. So Hassan al-Basri, he said, home for myself, for my children. Stop and think about the games and the tricks of shaitan. Moving forward. Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said the exact opposite. Min qibl al-akhirah. طيب, moving forward. He says here, وعن أيمانهم قال ابن عباس أشبه عليهم أمر دينهم. I will cause them confusion pertaining to their worldly affairs. Now look at the opposite. It's reverse wisdom now. Instead of me getting them to be greedy about the worldly life and have desire for the worldly life, now I get them to do nothing in the worldly life. And everything is based off of faith. We're Muslims, so we can't build. We're Muslims, so we shouldn't build. We shouldn't invest. We shouldn't save anything. We shouldn't make anything. We shouldn't innovate in the worldly things. Because the hayat dunya is what? زُيِّنَ لِلَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا وَيَسْخَرُونَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ آمَنُوا. So therefore, leave the worldly life, divorce it, and let's just stay away from it. Has this not happened to the Muslims? You get sick. What medicine do you take? Medicine from Muslims? Your phone, your computer, the shoes you wear, the clothes you wear, the logos that we have from Muslims? What have the Muslims produced in a long time? It's a very serious question. And perhaps that is included in that. أُشَبِّهُ عَلَيْهِمْ. They'll become confused about what their role and what their responsibility is in this, what? Dunya, not the akhirah. There's work to be done here. Muslims have a responsibility, what? Here. There are worldly things, not religious things, worldly things that we're supposed to be what? Doing, taking care of yourself, your health. I'm going to die anyway. I'm going to get cancer anyway, so let me just keep smoking. Let me keep drinking. Let me not eat at all. I'll just pass out. Allah will feed me whenever He wants to. Make them have doubts about the truth. وَعَنِ ابْنِ عَبَّاسٍ أَيْضًا مِنْ قِبِلِ حَسَنَاتِهِمْ. He says it pertains to their good deeds. Allahu Akbar. Shaitan will attack you from what? Alcohol, zina, marijuana, riba. Shaitan will attack you from your good deeds. Allahu Akbar. Think about that now. Salah, Hajj, Siyam. All of the good things to do, Shaitan is going to what? He's going to attack you according to that interpretation. Because it's a war. You're not going to say, oh, we'll drop bombs on them, but we won't do this. No. Pure is war all around the board. Any way to get you to stop existing, that's the goal of the soldier. He says here, وَقَالَ الْحَسَنِ مِنْ قِبِلِ الْحَسَنَاتِ أُثَبِّتُهُمْ عَنْهَا. Listen to this. He says, I will get them to be lazy and lethargic from doing good deeds, such as tomorrow, next week, or unfortunately, inshallah. Can you give sadaqah? Inshallah. 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 You want to go overseas and study? What? Inshallah. After I do this, after I do that, uthabbituhum, I get them to become heavy and weighed down. How fast can you move if you're wearing wet clothes, right? You're carrying heavy things. People train, they work out wearing sandbags because it allows them to grow more muscle because there's extra weight. So just think how slow we are when it comes to doing good deeds. Or we're fast to do good deeds, but our intentions are messed up. Our intentions are messed up. I'm doing it to be seen, to be heard, to be recognized, to be acknowledged. Or even if that's not my intention, it feels good when the people pat me on my back. MashaAllah, the lecture that you gave was so beautiful, akhi. Feels good. And you keep allowing it to feel good. The shaitan, he does what? He creeps up on you on good deeds. Moving forward, وقال أبو صالح أيضا طيب, he says here, وقال عصوا عن شمائلهم السيئات يأمرون بها ويحثهم عليها ويزينها في أعينهم. He says, Hassan al-Basri said about the left side, the left flank, the bad deeds, the evil deeds. And that is, he will make it look fair to them, make it look sweet to them, make it taste sweet. It feels good to disobey Allah. It's nice to go fun, to dance. It's healthy for your heart. It's good for your mind to drink every now and then. It's healthy. A cup of wine is good for your digestive system. Is this not what they say? You need to relax. That's why the Muslims are always killing each other. Your country, how many wars? Your country, how many wars? Your country, how many wars? Why are you in Canada? You come from this part of the world, this part of Africa, this part of Asia, because there was fighting and killing. And the reason why the Muslims are always killing each other and fighting and want to have so many civil wars is because there are no bars. There are no girls. There's no music. There's no play. Everything's serious, serious, serious. Ibadah, 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 ibadah. So therefore, every now and then you should do what? Not every day, but what? A little bit. Go out to the club, have fun. You're young, akhi. You have no hair on your face. You're a young man. Enjoy life a little bit. Correct or incorrect? Huh? So no, right? You're young. You're not an old man. Have fun. You're too pretty. You're too beautiful to wear that hijab. Let the ugly sisters wear the hijab. She doesn't look that well. Just look at her. But you're gorgeous. You have a gift, and the people should see that gift. Be grateful to Allah. Wear the niqab later on. Wear your hair. Look how long and beautiful and silky your hair is. Wear the hijab what? Later on, inshallah, you'll get married. Uzayyinuha. He makes it what? Fair to them. He makes it taste sweet. The sayyi'at, the sins. Ibn al-Qayyim, he says, last but not least, and Abdullah ibn Abbas, he said, وَلَمْ يَقُلْ مِنْ فَوْقِهِمْ. He never ever said, what direction did he miss? He never said from above. And that's because shaitan knows is that he cannot ever come between him and Allah if you want to be connected to Allah. So that's the solution now. That's the way of winning the war, is staying connected to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And shaitan, he never said from what can never ever take the servant from Allah if the servant is with Allah. As far as if you're not with him, that's a different story. It's not going to be an easy war as long as you're armed. We'll win. You'll take casualties, but we'll lose too. But if your guns are down, then what? A piece of cake. We ran in your spot. You were sleeping. You didn't even have time to do what? Pick up your weapons. We destroyed the Air Force on the what? On the ground. I would understand this concept, but if the planes are flying around, it's not that easy. So shaitan, he knows that his games, his schemes, his tricks, his plots are not stronger than dhikr. It's not stronger than the Quran. It's not stronger than the Sunnah. His games cannot trump and outstrip Allah's mercy, Allah's rahmah, Allah's hidayah, Allah's guidance. If you have ilm, he can't trick you like that. If you have the true proper ilm, the wisdom and the understanding. I would understand this. And of course, he knows that the mercy of Allah comes and is sent down, and Allah is above all of his creation. Fi ithbat al-ulu. And the Iblis. Iblis himself, he knew that Allah was what? Above. And you have people today who say that they're Muslim, who say that they're scholars, who say they're Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah, and they say you can't say Allah is above. So with this being said, the message is more than clear, of the reality of these tricks, of these games, of these schemes. It is not my intention to mention all of them. and to explain them and to give them in some type of, simplistic type of way. You have to figure it out. What's important is that it's war. You're either going to fight the war and win, you're going to fight the war, or you're going to lose. But don't think that you're a civilian. Don't think that when they drop the bombs, they're not going to blow up your house. Don't think that. Don't think shaitan is not going to come to you. Don't think shaitan is going to give you a break. Don't think that the shaitan is only going to come directly in front of you, telling you not to be a Muslim. It's going to be deeper than that. And to make us mindful, and to give us the strength and the thabat, the patience, the perseverance to fight this war, to win this war, to fight this battle. Bi-idhnillahi ta'ala, we ask Allah for that. And we ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to open our eyes and our ears and to take us out of the state of slumber and drunkenness that many of us, if not most of us, have fallen into. And He surely knows best. Wa jazakumullahu khairan. I don't know if there are questions. Sheikh Ammar, هل هناك مجال للأسئلة أم لا؟ 10 minutes, خير إن شاء الله. فضل أخي. You got to be real brief because it's only 10 minutes.
Yeah. You said he's not able to come from above, obviously, because Allah is there. How about from under?
From beneath. Good question. And I knew this was going to come up. There's different ways of answering it. If you're on earth, right? We're not talking about flying, but just say you're on earth walking. What are the directions? Right, left, front, back, and above. You're on earth. So someone is coming at you like that person in the alleyway with a knife. He can jump from above, right? Come in front, come right, come left, come back. But if you're standing on the ground, there's no trap door or anything, it's no from beneath. Everyone understand this? Because your feet are on the what? They're on the ground. Clear? Perhaps this is one answer, huh? Wallahu a'lam. The point is he's gonna, that's the bottom line. And if you're connected to Allah Azza wa Jal, you're gonna win. And the different levels of connection, of course. Wallahu a'lam. No problem. Any other questions, brothers and sisters? Khairan, inshallah. If there are no questions, we'll stop here. Or maybe we'll take a few from online, Ammar. We have no questions from online. Sallallahu sallam wa barak ala abdihi wa rasulihi nabiyina wa imamina Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Just gonna make a quick announcement.
Fadda, fadda.
Assalamu alaikum. Just before you guys leave, we have a registration booth for the brothers at the back. If you want to register for the course tomorrow, happening on Saturday, Sunday, 1 p.m. to 6:30 p.m. at the University of Ottawa. We also have a registration booth on the sisters' end. So if any sisters are interested in joining the course for the weekend, please register.